Hello YouTube and welcome to Go Girl Gaming's coverage of the game Arche. On this channel I'll be covering housing, farming, crafting, auction house use, and trading. For this video I'm going to talk about the Bee Hive. I'm going to make one and then go through its features. So here we go. So I am standing at the handicraft bench here. This is one of the private ones you can buy and make available to everybody, but anywho, and it is under contraptions, and it's the Acorn Bee Hive, and you need 20 pieces of just regular lumber, 5 aspen hardwoods, which are a rare drop from harvesting aspen trees, some acorns, which you get from oak trees. You have to harvest, you don't cut it down, you harvest the oak tree. And then some Dawn Lake essences, which you make using the Shadagon's gloves that you get from a general merchant, and fish that you just catch. So I have all that, so I'm going to craft the Acorn Bee Hive. The other thing that you're going to want to do, and I'll show you that as soon as I get through crafting the Bee Hive. The other thing that you're going to want to do in order to maximize your honey production is make a bee catching net and go catch yourself a bee. Now I'm heading to the leather station because that's where I already made one. I already have the bee, but I still want to show it to you. It's under, I believe, the specialty leather work goods, and it is, or no, it's not. There it is, under just leather goods. The Queen Bee Taming Net, where you'll need 20 memory ink, which I think is a bit extreme, but whatever. You get that from the general merchant. 5 just regular old hides that you make from leather, and then 1 pearl, which you get from the clams that you put down in aqua farms. And I've made 2 of these, but just in case I missed, because they can fail, but fortunately I only had to use 1, so I still have 1. And then I went to where I knew there were some queen bees on the western continent. I know there are bees in Hell Swamp. There are, I don't know if there's queen bees in Hell Swamp. I know there's bees, but I cannot guarantee that there are queen bees, and it has to be a queen bee. On the western continent, I know there's some in White Arden, and I know that there are some in Souls Reed. You have to get them down to about half health. So if you're a high level, you want to be careful when you hit them, and not if you're particularly if you decide to do it in Souls Reed, because you can one-shot them because they're very low level in Souls Reed. And so you catch them, and the reason you want to do that is to increase the production of the hive. If this is a hive that is ready to harvest, this is one of my guildmates' hives. This is what they look like when they're ready to harvest, which is after 5 days. So yeah, it is a long, but you get a lot of honey. You get, I believe, 28 things of honey, whereas if you don't have a queen, this is what it's going to look like when I put it down. Whereas if you don't have a queen and you harvest it, or you harvest it like after 1 day, you only get 4. So it's worth it to just let her sit if you're interested in producing honey. So I'm going to find my honey pot, and you can see, in spite of how small it looks, it does take up a good spot of land. So make sure that you have the space available either on a farmhouse or a 16 by 16 scarecrow farm, or maybe even a luxury house. I believe there's enough room in one of those. And then you can put it down, and I'm actually going to turn mine so that it faces out, and then place it. And now let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so as you can see, spend 10 labor to add the captured queen bee to the hive, which, like I said, I already have one, so I'm going to do that. And then spend 10 labor to shake the beehive and attract a small number of bees. Well, I'm going to put in the queen bee because she will do all that for me, allegedly. Yeah, so as you can see, that other option went away. So now the queen bee is going to start doing her magic. And after so many days, I will have an active hive, and I think it's like maybe one or two. And then again, when it's ready to harvest, it'll look like this. Now there is an intermediate stage, but I don't see an intermediate stage hive anywhere nearby. Otherwise, I would show that to you. But there is, it's like, I think it's called like a sweating hive. Also, sometimes your hive will be attacked by other insects, and that's when you're going to need the smoke. There is a smoking thing. Let me find it. It's the smoke bead, which is also under handicrafts, and it just requires a couple of blue salt knives, which you get from just a general merchant, a plank of lumber, and a hay bale, which you get from harvesting grains such as, it doesn't, for some reason, it won't work. You can't harvest hay bales from like nuts or beans, but any of the other grains such as barley, rice, quinoa, rye, oats. Those will give you hay bales, and if you do the seed bundles, you'll get more hay bales, or of course you can get them off the auction house. So that's when you would need those. If your hive ever gets under attack, you use one of these on it, and it'll be like a red thing at the top and stress and all that kind of stuff. There's also a beehive hat, but my guildmate assures me that you don't need it. You might get a stung on occasion, but it's nothing that, it's not a requirement, but I will show that to you. Okay, this is the Beekeepers Veil. It's under leather armor, but the mats are some leather, some cashmere threads, some handicraft yarn, some moonlight archeum, and some small seed oil. And there's also a leatherworking proficiency as well. So like I said, my guildmate assures me that it's not necessary. You might get stung maybe every so often, but it's nothing, it's not worth getting the Beekeepers Veil. At least it hasn't been so far. So that is the beehive, and you can use the beehive for both the honey larder, which looks like this, or you can also use it in cooking for the drinks, and I'll show you some of those. So if I go under cooking and I go to the drinks, the honey mead requires honey and a proficiency of 10,000. And then I believe, the honey liquor, or the honey mead, by the way, is for health, and the honey liqueur, which one honey, is for mana, and also has a proficiency of 10,000. So those are the two things I know explicitly you can use honey for. So there you have it, the beehive. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend. Thank you for watching.